The techniques you're about to see are to have you temporarily disable your attacker and to help you get away. In no way are any of these techniques to be used in order to fight or permanently disable an attacker. One of the most classic techniques an attacker can use is a bear hug. If you're out on the street, somebody comes up behind you and simply wraps their arms around you. Now, if you're a small person, or especially a woman, they may try to pick you up. In which case, no matter how small you are, the best thing to do is pick your feet up and drop them down. I guarantee, if you're less or more than about 50 pounds, this will work, okay? Next thing you want to do is drop your weight down and get your arms out. Even if you don't break their hold, this will immediately loosen them up. At this point, take your heel and dig it as hard as you can into the top of their foot. If they don't let go by this point, then they have either steel-toed shoes on or they have something extremely wrong with them, okay? Now, so let's say they let go by this point, you run away screaming fire. Unfortunately, if you scream, help me, help me, help me, somebody's trying to kill me, most people won't look. You scream fire, they will. Run as far away and as fast away as you can, screaming fire. Now let's say they don't let go. You've gotten down, put your arms down, stomped on their foot. The next thing you do, simply take your elbow and shove it back as hard as you can. That might break a rib. Again, you run away screaming fire. Okay. For those of us who attend college in Center City, muggings occur all too often. Let's say a simple mugger comes up and grabs you by the collar or the lapel. This position is very open to him. You can hit the crotch, you can hit the face, the solar plexus, or the neck. Hitting the neck is very effective, yet very dangerous. If you're going to hit the neck, do it fairly lightly. A strike to the carotid artery or the trachea, a light strike, will still disable your opponent enough for you to get away. Yet striking too hard could kill them. What I would recommend doing is lightly slapping them or hitting them across the neck and hitting their elbow here. The strike here will distract them enough that when you hit their elbow, you should be able to get them to go away. At this point, run in the opposite direction, screaming fire. Another classic attack is a front choke. They come up to you and wrap both their hands around your neck. This is a great time to go over the importance of a ki-ai. A ki-ai is a yell, or a scream, or something to get your energy out. Now, a ki-ai can be a technique in itself. Say he comes up and puts his hands on me, and I want him to get rid of me. I want to get rid of him right away. It catches him by surprise. Now, let's add something called parting wings to that. You don't actually have to hit the person with any of these strikes. What this is simply, they're going to come up to you, you're going to throw one knee into their crotch, and your thumbs into their eyes. Now, you don't have to hit their eyes, you don't have to hit them at all. But this attack and a ki-ai should be enough to get them to let go. Let's give it a shot. Now you run. Now for an attack or a hold that we've all been put in. It's a very old school playground move, the rear naked choke. We all know that somebody comes up from behind us, we're minding our own business, and wraps their arm around our throat. It's very bully-like, and if they know how to do it correctly, you can be out in seconds, or under a second. But chances are your attacker will not know how to do it correctly. The first thing you want to do when you feel their arm coming around, okay, is get your chin down. This does two things. One, it gives their arm off your neck and gives you time to breathe. And two, if you have a nice hard jaw, you can really dig it into their hand, and it's uncomfortable. Okay? So drop your chin down. Again, look down, stomp on the foot. You'll have enough time. After you stomp on the foot, take this leg, step it out, and give them a little respect. That should be enough for you to once again escape and run away. Something we've all seen on the street is somebody coming up and grabbing your wrist. Now, it's important not to go kicking and striking as soon as they grab your wrist. Somebody might be trying to get your attention. Heck, they might be asking you what time it is. But let's say their motives are a little more undesirable. Somebody comes up and grabs your wrist. The first thing that we want to do is simply open your hand. Now, watch this space right here. There's almost no space between his fingers. As soon as I open my hand up, it creates about a ½ inch of space. That ½ inch of space is enough for me to escape. Now let's say they're very strong, okay? They're holding with all their might. I'm gonna open it up, turn and push down, okay? See that again, I'm gonna do it slower. I'm gonna open up, turn my hand like I'm going to throw something into the floor. There's two things. One, if I just open my hand and pull down, I'm pulling into his fingers where he's strong. I don't want to find him where he's strong. I want to open up and pull right through that hole I just made. There's no way he can hold on. Okay? Now, if he pulls the other way, so he grabs the other hand. Now his fingers are in a different spot. I want to do the same thing, open up, and again, pull out where is the opening. Okay? Don't pull forward hand, down, up. Open your hands, create the opening, and escape through the opening. Enough with holds. Let's go into a strike. A very simple strike and a very often used strike, the roundhouse punch. The roundhouse punch, if I'm facing you, it's going to come around, hence the roundhouse. The easiest way to deal with this punch without going into moves and defenses and attacks like that is to simply do this. Your attacker's going to come in. Now, what you might think you want to do is get away, back up. Well, your attacker can trace that. He can see you moving away, and he will follow you and still hit you. The best thing you can do is move into the attack. This goes for any attack. A kick, a punch, anything. Move into it. If somebody comes at you with a roundhouse punch on the street, you see it coming, the best thing to do is to cover both sides of your head, use your elbows as little daggers, and throw them into your attacker's body. This will do two things. One, as you can see, I've stopped his attack with my arm. If he tries to come around, he's going to miss my head completely. I'm not going to get hit. I've thrown my elbow into his brachial artery and into his chest. That'll stun him enough for me to get away and run screaming fire. Now I'm going to demonstrate some more advanced moves. These moves you can use by studying or learn by studying classical jiu-jitsu. That's what I do. Jiu-jitsu is a good art for self-defense because it does not use punching or kicking as many other arts do, such as karate or taekwondo. So you run a much fewer risk, or much less risk of hurting yourself. Self-defense, the number one rule of self-defense is don't hurt yourself. We learn how to fall, we learn how to use our body, and learn how to use the ground in order to hurt our opponent, not our body as a weapon. I encourage you to find out more information about a jiu-jitsu school near you.
I gotta be me too. Silly of me to think that I couldn't bring myself to be you. But behold, there is benevolence behind this, but don't stare though. Careful, I'll kill you.